Can everybody hear me on the call?
Yes,
What's up, Bianca? How are you?
I am doing good, Jared. How about yourself?
Uh, Water, it's obviously not water, but a pipe broke over my car. I was parking at the Westfield shopping mall. I was doing some shopping with my girl, and
Uh,
my car paint is like all fucked up on like the passenger side.
Dang.
I was on the phone with the insurance adjuster this morning while I was doing Robert's call, and all of a sudden I'm late.
Oh my
So I,
goodness.
yeah, you know what? It's okay. The parking place's insurance is going to take care of it. My insurance is like, don't worry about it. You're not liable. So
What a
it'll,
relief, huh?
it'll all get worked out. But just crap, I got to do it.
You know
Um,
what's random, Jared, about that? Last night I was coming home. I was coming home from work and it was like I want to say like 2:30 in the morning, and the pipes in the garage were one of the pipes was bursted and water was just coming down. So I had to reach out to my landlord last night, and I don't know if he ended up fixing it, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with these pipes in the garage.
man. Horrible. Excuse me. I got a little frustrated this morning. I was using some bad language, and guess it's carrying over into this. Um, so we're actually on number 12, y'all. So we went back. Sorry, I think we're off a day, so that's all right. So this is actually our last class of the session. I'm going to get a 2-week break after this one, so yay me. But everybody else who's not on, if you're starting, for example, the first time, totally fine. All these classes just kind of roll into each other, so it doesn't matter where you start. It's all good. This one happens to be about closing the deal. So very good one, a fun one. So we'll actually do a lot more conversation in this class and just kind of summarize everything that we've learned. Also, just good tips and tricks for newer agents who haven't done all the classes and stuff. So it'll be a good overview of what the entire course is going to be like. Let me just share my screen real quick. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Okay. And then for the people who are in person, oops, wait, hold on. Here's cast, training room TV.
Jared, where can we find this on our part?
Oh yeah, I will post it in the chat box.
Okay.
It's not working. Why isn't it working? Is it me?
Jared, question.
Yeah.
So you said this is the last class, and then after the 2 weeks, you'll start doing them again, like 1 through 12.
Yes, correct.
Because you said you have a list of like all the classes we've participated in, right?
Yeah, to be honest, the last couple ones have been kind of a little lackadaisical. So if you just want to tell me anything that I've missed, just let me know and I'll put it on my list.
Mm,
This is weird.
Is there any way you can tell us what we missed by any chance?
Look it up. I could look it up. Give me a second.
yeah, because I don't know which ones I missed either. I know I've done like 4 or 5, but I want to just plan ahead for my work schedule so I can take the classes and finish them up.
Hold on, give me a hot sec. Trying to do 2 things at once now. Give me a second. That's not the one I want. That's not the one I want either. That's not the one I want either. Great. Okay. Something got messed up on this. Hold on. 4/7, no, 10/26, 7/24. Yeah, I think it's this one, maybe. Nope. All right. I'm hoping I didn't delete it on accident because it's not coming up the list that I have. I'll have to take some time after this class to go look it up, Christian, and I'll let
Okay.
you know. All right? Sorry about that. It's here somewhere on my computer. It's just not coming up where I saved it last. Hold on. I need to talk to one of the people to put this on the screen real quick because it's not casting. I think I'm doing it right on the computer, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna change it over. I.
Oh, there we go.
That's what you need.
There we go. Thank you so much, man. All righty, now we're rocking and rolling. Okay, so this is the Power Session Ignite number 12. So in the last couple of classes, oh wait, I need to put this in the chat box, right? 1 second. Okay. So for everybody who's on the call via Zoom, I just put it in the chat box. So if you want to click on that, you can follow along with everything that we're doing. All righty, so everybody on the Zoom call, how was your weekend? Did you make any contacts? Did you make any cold calls, talk to anybody? All right, I'm gonna start picking. Okay, Christian, were you able to
Well,
make
me,
phone calls? Any?
yeah, I did some phone calls this last week, like 25. I got this lead information of like 4,000 to 5,000 leads from this one guy who's been trying to recruit me to work with him at a different brokerage, but I said no, I can't. So he's like trying to offer like we can do like deals together whenever I need like Spanish speakers or something. So I called like 30, 35 people, but a lot of it was like I spoke to like 5. The rest of them I left messages, voicemails, and then the rest of what I also do, like since I work retail, like I'm literally talking to everybody about me doing real estate as a full timer and me being part time at retail. So I get their numbers, information, and then I continue to just stay in contact with them. Like after that same day, I'll reach out, say it's a pleasure meeting you. Let's stay in contact. Like this is what I do, and yeah.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, I mean, you know, and what I would also suggest, and you know, just for me, I find it to be much more useful. Do you ever like go out and about, like go out for like dinners, drinks, you know, social engagements, or you kind of hunkering down again because of the variant?
I'm very I mean, I wake up to go to the gym every day, like around 5 a.m. So I'll end up talking to people there.
Yeah.
Hardly go out because I have 2 kids, I have a baby, so I need to be here with my wife, you know. But what I do a lot is I'm really into the social media like Instagram. So I'm very, very active there. Like I just had a guy create a flyer for me and I'm gonna work on business cards, but I had to do a new photo shoot for like headshot, which came out like very good. And now I'm gonna do the business cards now. So yeah, I try to continue to just have conversations with people. Like I'll reach out or comment on people's posts from that I stopped talking to for a while, you know, back in high school or college, and just continue to have conversations like all day and just try to make it more about real estate.
Nice. So I feel that for some reason, and I don't have personal experience with this, I'm just referring to other people that have been in the classes and stuff.
Yeah.
You're soliciting somebody while you're at your workplace, you know, about real estate. You know, you might get something, but I've just found that in a little bit more of a social, a little bit less professional setting, it seems to work a little bit better. So I would say focus on the gym a lot, focus on like, you know, social media, for example, you know, by making those
Yeah.
posts talking about and see how that goes. Because I've found, you know, I had this one guy, we didn't end up finding something because he was looking for only off markets, and this was a couple of years back, but whatever. Like he was looking for an $11 million house, like over in the flats and stuff. He was okay with a fixer. So I mean, that was just, you know, going to Equinox and just talking with some guy in the locker room, you know. So for some reason, it just seems to work pretty well. So
Yeah,
I would not. So good job, Christian. That's awesome, man. Keep it up.
yeah, no problem.
Bianca, how about you?
All right. So same thing, kind of like Christian, at work, talking to different people. I was actually able to see a lot of regulars that I hadn't seen in a while that are interested in buying. So I was able to not just give them my business card, I was actually able to get their email and their information to save in my database. Um, and the first client that I potentially had is back in the picture. I was actually able to see them again at my job, and I was kind of nervous on talking to them about real estate while they were having dinner at my job. But they ended up closing the tab and ordering one last round before they left. And in that moment, I found the perfect opportunity to kind of just be like, hey, so how's the house hunt? I know you guys have been searching on your own as well on, I believe, realtor.com. I'm not sure because they kept saying that they could see the MLS. So finally we were able to talk about all of that, and they just have been using realtor.com. So they gave me a whole new criteria, a new search for them. And so now it's like my new aim for today. But I don't want to.
Atta girl, good job.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, keep it up. Stay on those people because, you know, honestly, it really, when somebody says, I want to buy a house, do you think it takes a month or 2 months or maybe 6 months up to a year, even before they start pulling triggers and writing offers?
It depends, right?
All depends. So, for example, I've had some people who are ready to rock and roll, and I got them into a house within in escrow within 1 month. You know, from talking to them originally to actually writing offers and in escrow, 1 month, bam. Love those clients. It just seems to me most of them turn into a 6 month process. So remind yourself that if you're not seeing the results right away, you just got to keep going with it and, you know, following that lead down the path. Now, in the same breath, if it could potentially take up to 6 months for somebody to pull the trigger, what does that mean for us? We're talking to a lot more people than just that one person. So oftentimes I find a lot of newer agents, you know, who, for example, watch Selling Sunset or, you know, $1 Million Listing or whatever, and it seems so fluid. It's like boom, 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 deals, 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 deals. We don't know what took, you know, to get there, you know, all of the work that took to get to that position. Now, for example, if you're like talking about the Josh Flaggs or the Josh Altmans of the world, and, you know, or people on Selling Sunset, yeah, they've been in the business for quite a while. They're very connected throughout the community. Their phones ringing off the hook, and they have an amazing show that pays them money just to be on television or Netflix. And it's the most amazing advertising for their business possible. So we always have to remind ourselves that we might not be in that situation because they have free advertising. Actually, they have paid advertising for them on a TV show. So, you know, for us, you know, for most realtors, while we're starting out, we really have to look at it as a numbers game. So it's not just that one person or those two people that I talk to and I'm going to follow that lead. It's great. I'm going to follow up with them once a week, maybe once every other week, once we get them in the pipeline. But it's setting up time every single day to go after new business. And the best way that I can think of going after new business personally for me is cold calling. Why? Because it's cheap. It's very efficient for your time. You can talk to many, many more people cold calling than you could going to sit at a bar or a restaurant or, you know, kibitzing with people at the gym or et cetera, you know, et cetera. You can go through a laundry list of people, areas. You can talk with title, which we'll get into, you know, in later classes. Getting phone numbers of people who have lived in places for X amount of years, people who are delinquent on their, you know, mortgages, et cetera, who might be more inclined to sell because maybe they're going through some financial troubles. And you can kind of zero in on people who are potential, you know, buyers or sellers, and, you know, fill that into your pipeline of lead generation activities to try to find those buyers, sellers, et cetera. The other thing that I love to do personally is door knocking. With the variant coming out again, I'm a little upset about it because that was my wheelhouse. That's what I love to do.
Mhm.
But I still think that you could door knock now as long as you're wearing a mask. You know, you're being respectful of people's space and distance, etc. And some people are not going to give a crap about the variant whatsoever. Some people are totally chill about it. You know, I went to an LAFC game the other day. I wore a mask. You know, I felt very comfortable. You know, even though I was around a lot of people. I've been vaccinated. I'm not too worried about myself. Some other people, they might not be vaccinated. They might not care, you know, about the whole thing. They're over it. That's their right. You know, good for them. Other people are vaccinated, so they feel a little bit more comfortable. And other people might feel, hey, you know, back off a little bit. I don't know you. We got to respect all those, you know, different wishes and things. But the one thing that I love to do is door knocking because I think if you're face to face with people, one, they could read your intentions better. You know, body language speaks a lot. You know, I forget the saying, I'm going to butcher it, but it's like something in percentage is verbal and the rest is all, you know, body language and, you know, nonverbal cues. I believe in that. I also just think that people can hear your tonality when you're in person. They see your facial expression. You know, you get your messages, you know, put across much more efficiently that way. So door knocking for me also is one of my favorite things to do. That way, you know, you're putting your name to your face, a face to your name. You're in front of people. You start to build rapport with these people much more efficiently. And you know, door knocking for me is huge, especially when you're just starting out in the industry. It takes a lot of legwork, obviously, literally, because you're walking door to door knocking on houses. But I actually think it's it's worthy of your time. The last two listings that I just closed, you know, 1.6 and up respectively, I got those last year door knocking. We didn't sell it last year because of the whole COVID thing. They were like, where the fuck am I going to move? Like, I have nowhere to go. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. So we just kept in contact, and it took, you know, 6 months to a year to, you know, finally close on those deals. But in the meantime, I have another property that we're looking at going back into escrow. It's 2.7. That was somebody that I talked with, you know, 6 or 7 months ago. And same thing, because it was in the middle of the pandemic. She's like in her 60s, 70s. So she's like, if I move to she wants to move to Palm Desert. She's like, I'm not going to be able to meet anybody. I can't go to the country clubs. I can't go to the golf courses. I can't, you know, talk with people. So until this is over and I feel more comfortable, I'm not selling. Now she's, you know, up to selling again. So all these people, I met them door knocking. So, I mean, listen, if you do $10 million of deals, you know, just door knocking, you know, literally picking 2 days out of the week just to hit 100 doors. By the by, great exercise. You know, if you like hiking, pick a hilly street because I guarantee you most realtors are not doing that street. You'll get a good workout. You'll meet a lot of people. You'll build a name for yourself in the neighborhood. And I honestly really think it's a great it's a very worthy thing to do time wise. So anyway, so everybody on the call, I highly recommend get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Don't just rely upon, you know, the gym and other things where people are going to be, you know, around you. Be proactive and go after the business. Get out of your comfort zone. Go knock on some doors. If you've never door knocked before, I might recommend going with an experienced agent and just kind of if they're taking you to their farm, you know, they might not be willing to share any of the listings there with you, but just to get an idea of what you would be doing door knocking, it might be worthwhile. I've done that before. I actually used to door knock for the first, my first mentor. I used to door knock for her. Listen, she was like, listen, if you get anything, you know, I'll give you, I think she was, it was, gosh, I'm almost embarrassed to say, I think she was like 15% of the commission, which is nothing. And I was like, shit, I'll do it. Yeah, you know, just tell me what to do. I was just mold me. I want to figure this business out. And sure enough, I did. I didn't get any business, which was great. I took everything I learned and applied it to my own business. But you know, in the beginning, you know, stages, you know, a lot of it is going to be trial and error and a lot of practice. And you know, and if you wanted, what I also recommend, frankly, is kind of having an accountability buddy. It's almost like whenever I go to the gym, you know, like my girlfriend kind of keeps me accountable because she makes fun of how fat I got over the pandemic. So she was like, come on, you got to go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. And so like, I'm like, yeah, I got it. She likes doing HIIT classes. I hate those things. It's like a big LA scene. Like, I don't, it's like, I'm here to, they're hard. I'm like, I'm here to work out. It's not a fashion show for me. Like, I'm like, I don't care. So I like going to the gym by myself and just, you know, working out on my own. But anyway, she keeps me accountable. Just like that, find somebody in real estate, your accountability buddy, you know, somebody who motivates you, who's also driven, who also wants to get, you know, the work done, and you can go together. And you and your partner can, you know, split the commission, you know, down the middle or whatever. So food for thought. Anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the class. Good job, everybody, on your lead generation activities and all that fun stuff. So we went through our action reveal. We wanted to report out our daily 10-4. We did some of that. But can somebody remind me, what is our daily 10-4? Somebody on the call who's been on these classes before, what is our daily 10-4?
Reaching out to 10 contacts.
Boom, that's one of them. We got 4 more.
Taking notes, 10 notes.
Taking notes or notes to what? What kind of notes?
Notes about the client in the database.
Close enough. So what we want to do is we want to contact at least 10 people, preferably new, or in our database. It could be people that we know. It could be like our friends, you know, whatever. It could be family members. It could be people at the gym, whatever it might be. We want to contact at least 10 people per day. Hey, it's Jared, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. If it's cold calling, don't call your friends this way. If you're cold calling or something like that, hey, it's Jared Medlinski, I'm Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. I noticed that you live on Roscommare. I just wanted to call and contact you and just let you know that I have about 6 or 7 clients who are looking in your area. And I was just curious, do you know anybody who's interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate? There you go, huh? How do you get my number? Sorry, my name is Jared Medlinski, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. I know this is random. We literally had 6 people write an offer on this one property. That was just from my office, let alone all the other offers that they got on the house. One person ended up with the property. Clearly, we have a lot of people looking in the neighborhood who can't find enough houses. Inventory is really low. Just taking the time to just call the neighborhood to see if anybody is interested in entertaining offers in today's market. And then they go, huh, well, I don't know, maybe. And you just have that conversation from there and just see if they're interested. If they are, you know, you simply go, hey, let's go meet. But anyway, we want to contact 10 people. So 10 people. So that's cold calling. It could also be your friends, you know. Hey, it's Jared. Hey, man, what's up? How you been? Day's been good? Awesome. Hey, I realize we haven't talked in a couple of months. You know, the pandemic's crazy. Haven't really been able to catch up with everybody. Just wanted to reach out to people and just see how they've been. Oh, I've been great. You know, the wife and I went on our first vacation in over a year. It's blah, 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 blah. By the by, Sarah's expecting. We're so excited. Oh, wow, that's so amazing. Yeah, cool. So how's work? How are you all back in the office yet? No, we're not back in the office, which I love. I'm able to get so much more done. It's great. Yeah, no, me too. It's nuts. Oh, well, how's your work going? And then they're asking me now. Oh, well, it's actually going really great. Funny you should ask. You know, I was wondering, do you know anybody who's interested in buying or selling or investing in real estate? Because I just closed a few properties looking for new clients. If you know anybody, I'd love to help. It doesn't have to sound like you're soliciting people, is my point. You don't have to sound like you're a salesperson when you're making these types of calls. It is just checking in with a friend, a family member, etc. You know, a lot of the scripts that we see through Keller Williams and stuff, they're very canned. They're very, you know, they feel almost like a telemarketer, you know, call center. I don't like them, frankly. I like the points that they touch upon, and I like to kind of pick what I like in those scripts and just apply it into like everyday conversation. And that's honestly what I think is the best form of lead generation. It's reaching out to friends and family, just having a conversation. So anyway, daily 10-4, 10 calls per day. We want to contact 10 people per day. The 10 notes is writing 10 written notes to the people that we talk to. Now, it doesn't have to be handwritten. It can be a text message. It can be an email. It could be a pre-written note that you saved, which I don't recommend though. It could be smoke signals for all I care, whatever you want to do, but just recontact them and just say, hey, it was really great catching up. It was great talking with you. Thank you so much for sharing with me about your daughter's soccer league that just started again, whatever it might be. And, you know, glad we had a chance to connect. Something like that. Why do you think we like to do that? When was the last time anybody on the call or anybody in the classroom received a handwritten note from a friend, a family member, an acquaintance? Anybody? Right? Pretty crazy, huh?
It's random, rare.
It's a lost art. I just received a handwritten note. We did a surprise birthday party for a friend of ours. Well, her boyfriend, or excuse me, her husband did a surprise birthday party for his wife, and she wrote a handwritten note to every single person who showed up to the surprise party. She wasn't anticipating that. She wasn't expecting a surprise birthday party. She walked in totally shocked, and within 3 days, we got a note in the mail saying thank you so much, and it was like 2 paragraphs long. You know, wow, how heartfelt was that? This person must really care about us. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, but that was the effect. You know, that's how it makes you feel. So, you know, if you want to like think about like how a lot of these like, you know, crazy successful agents are, it's because they seem personable. You know, they really do. You know, some of the best agents I've ever met, they could walk in a room and make me feel like I was the most important person in the room, and they talk to every single person in the room more than me. Like they're just very personable, you know? And so by doing that, you're setting yourself apart, you know, and so I highly recommend that. So 10 contacts a day, 10 handwritten notes, adding 10 people into your database. If you have if you do anything in any type of business, you have a client database. And just like, you know, if you're a stockbroker or, you know, whatever, or a lawyer, you're going to have a database of all your clients. So when they do call, you're able to open up a little file and go, oh yeah, this is what we talked about last time. I mean, you might not say that to them, but you're reading the file and all the notes that you've been writing about this client, and it helps jog your memory. I have a client, Brandon. I haven't sold anything with him in quite a few years. I forget his kids' names. I don't know what they are. No offense to him. Kids are lovely, love them to death. They're great. I don't remember their names. I don't know what they're into, but oh wait, one of them is Nathan because he likes Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. Anyway, so I'm able to look at my notes and go, oh, Nathan loves Harry Potter. He wanted his room to be the closet underneath the stairs. It was funny. He's, you know, his birth date is this day, so whatever. So I have a thing in my CRM that tells me to send out a letter to Brandon, his wife Eunice, Nathan, I forget the daughter's name. But anyway, I send out a note to them every single time it's one of their birthdays. You know, I make sure that I call them and I check in and go, hey, how's your blah, blah, blah been going? Whatever, cool, awesome. And the point is, do they know that I have a CRM telling me to do all this stuff? Hell no. But do they think that I'm one caring son of a gun? Absolutely. And that's what we want to do. And you know what? Guess what? I do care. You know, these are my clients. These are people who are making my life possible. You know, I love what I do. I love going on vacations. I love driving a nice car, you know, but I work my ass off for it, you know, and we should all be proud of, you know, all that kind of stuff. And by doing that, give thanks to our clients. So make sure we're adding them into a database so we're able to follow up with them. And then finally, the last part of the daily 10-4 is previewing 10 properties per week. That's the only one that's not daily. We want to make sure that we are staying on top of what's happening in our area that we specialize in, quote unquote. Now, with that said, keep in mind, today's inventory is at record lows right now. So, I mean, we have almost nothing on inventory. So my area might be Bel Air. I might not see, you know, 10 houses come on the market any given week. So with that said, with technology, we can be experts in an entire region practically. So whenever we're not seeing houses come up in Bel Air necessarily, we could look at Beverly Hills. I could look in the Palisades. I could look in Brentwood. I can look in West LA. I can, you know, just have an idea of what's selling and what's going on. Some of the areas that I like to focus on are the areas near what formerly used to be called the West Side Pavilion. That's going to be the new Google offices. You think prices are going to start going up over there? Well, fuck yeah, they are. They're going to, yeah, Westwood area, yeah. Those prices are going to be skyrocketing. I was trying to get one of my buyers into one of the houses, brand new construction, totally within his price range. He's a bit naive. He wanted to be in, Holmby Hills area. Whatever. He didn't get it. The house was listed for like 2 point whatever million. If that house was in, Bel Air or the Hollywood Hills, it would have been $20 million. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Like, it was gorgeous. It was 3 stories, had a movie theater in the bottom. The backyard was so. But still, it was a great house. 5,000 plus square feet, probably. Gorgeous, really, really gorgeous home. But they were just selling it for, pretty cheap. I think the developer kind of just needed to get rid of it. But anyway, I digress. Point is, that house is now worth like close to 5. So, I mean, that was just a few years ago. So that neighborhood is something that I'm really heavily focusing on, even though I prefer to work in Bel Air or Beverly Hills. So keep in mind, we want to preview 10 properties per week. So, all right. So what's our daily 10 for? In summation, 10 contacts a day, 10 handwritten notes, 10 people into our database, and previewing 10 properties per week. All right. Good stuff. Okay.
Jared, I have a quick question for you.
I have a quick to medium length answer for you.
Okay, so is there any way for us agents at Keller Williams to be able to see what other agents list in the office?
Like what listings do we have right now?
Yeah, like, is it possible for us to be able to see like what other agents in the office, what other listings they have, like, or they're just putting out?
So we have an email that gets sent out by our marketing team that shows all the new listings. However, what I think you're talking to is just a revolving list of all the listings that we have currently in the office. And I actually recommend that, because previous offices that I've been with, they have right on a board what listings we have, like, and it's constantly updated and changed. So just like, so if somebody needed to know, like, oh, what listings do we have right now in the office, you can just look on this like whiteboard that's constantly updated. We probably should do that. Frankly, we don't, but we should, frankly, because that is helpful. That way, when you are making cold calls or whatever, you can go, yeah, we have these listings. And sure, it's another agent's listing, but I guarantee you that agent is not going to be upset with you if you bring them a buyer. They're going to give you half, 2.5% of the commission. So yes, I do think we should do that. I don't think that we have one centralized, but we can ask marketing if you want to like reach out to Justin and marketing and ask them something like that, because that would be very helpful. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Cool. So, okay, get your head in the game. This is my favorite little diagram, pictogram, whatever you want to call it. So get your head in the game. Throughout Ignite, you've been performing the daily 10-4 activities, or you should be, and tracking your numbers as you go along. You've time blocked your daily activities and are now working towards your goals with the help of your market center. You have learned that mindset, attitude, and your approach to life matter, adopting the mindset of and a philosophy of contributing to lives of other people and deeply rooted in beliefs and doing the best job possible for each and every customer will enable you to grow your business. Now, why do I love this little picture of this funnel? Because it's pretty much a summation of what we do as realtors. It all begins with leads. The more leads you have, the more appointments you'll get. The more appointments you get, the more agreements you'll get. The more agreements, the more contracts, the more contracts, the more money in your bank account. So if you don't have an abundance of leads, that's what your goal number one should be. How many people can I contact? How many people can I reach out to? How do I, get my name out there in the real estate realm? And for people to go, when I think of real estate, I think of Jared Medlinski. I want to go give him a call. So that's what we really need to try to imagine ourselves as, is how can I be a lead magnet, or how can I get as many leads as possible? Because I promise you, every single lead you get, 1 out of 5 of them will probably close. So if you think about that, we really got to get, quite a few more leads if I want to hit my $10 million, sales, per year mark. And in Los Angeles, that shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, really, that could be 10 clients in a year. If you're selling in a higher price range, less, 2 or 3 clients a year. So, keep that in mind that it is attainable, and it's not, overwhelming if you put in the work. So that's number one. So, and also, whenever I have an appointment, that doesn't mean we're going to list, so keep that in mind. And frankly, even if you get into a contract, that might not close either. So keep that in mind. We want to be a lead generation machine, so to speak. Okay, so we got a quick little video we're gonna watch. I'm gonna grab some coffee because I'm half asleep. I was watching U.S. men's kayak slaloms. Like they're going on like whitewater rapids and they're in a kayak and they're like fucking dope. It was so awesome. Anyway, okay, so let's get this video up and running. And a day in the life of a mega agent. This is so corny sometimes. Okay, give me a second. I need to turn my computer around so the people in the class can see because I don't know how to put that up on the screen. 1 second. One sec. I'll be right back after I get my coffee. Oops, it's not playing. Now it's playing.
Hi, Linda McKissick, and I'm going to talk to you about an ideal day in the life of a mega agent. First thing in the morning, I have to start with getting up and getting my head right. What I've discovered is if I get my head there, my body will show up. So that typically means getting up in the morning, always exercising, getting the blood flowing, and second, reading something either spiritual or motivational or listening to an audio tape. Jim Rohn happens to be my favorite, so he's always in one of my CD players somewhere so that I can plug him in easily. Just listening to people that are inspirational, because I think all of us need hope every day to go do what we have to do. As we get to the office, the most important thing is, because every business is a lead generation business, is what does that lead generation look like? For me, because I'm at the 7th level, one of the most important things is what key people do I need to talk with that day? And that always pops up first. Do they have what they need to succeed? And then the next thing is, who are the people we need to be doing business with? How have I communicated with them lately? What do I need to do now? Is it a phone call today? Is it a drip campaign? Is it an invitation to something? Looking for how do I communicate with those people that we want to do business with, and how do I keep furthering that relationship and moving it along? I've discovered my business energy is highest earliest in the morning, earliest in the day, and earliest in the week. So I front load my week, Monday being the most difficult day with all the contacts and all the lead generation that I need to do early in the morning. And that frees me up to have the afternoon to kind of just work on plans or projects. Typically what I find is through the week, Monday and Tuesday are heavier, and Wednesday, and by Thursday and Friday, it's pretty more entrepreneurial of just off the cuff. And in the evening on Mondays or through the week is, it's always about family, because the reason we do what we do is so that we can build a great life and build great memories with our family. So our kids are very important to us. We're very involved. And it's, what are we going to do as a family? What do we need to do as a family? When's dinner? Where are we going to go? Or what are we going to eat? And that kind of rejuvenates me. One of my philosophies is the purpose of business is to fund life. And to me, life is all about family. And as a mega agent, your day might look different, but the key things we have to always remember is certain parts of our day have to look the same. So you might want to think about, where's my head? How can I get my head in the right place? And then we always want to remember that every business has to be lead generating. So what does your lead generation look like? Is it earliest in the morning? Is it earliest in the day? And then we always have to know that somewhere in the day we have to spend that quality time with family, because we don't want to win at business to lose at family. Thanks for watching KW Connect, and make it a great day.
So what were some things that stood out in that video that maybe you weren't thinking about, that, I don't know, something that stood out, frankly, other than the fact that she did the ultimate fail of all realtors seem to do, they don't update their pictures. I don't know if you noticed, but in that video, she looks very different, and in her pictures, she looks a little different. Anyway, My picture that I used for my open house sign, I was like, looked at it, it was only 3.5 years ago. Oh my God, I look so different. It's kind of funny. Anyway, but what are some things that stood out that maybe you didn't think of previously when you thought of real estate? Anybody on the call?
I like how she says, you know, that getting up, she needed to get her mind right and maybe exercise and read something. I like how she said she reads or listens to something, that whether a podcast or someone inspirational, but I really like that to get her day going, you know.
You know, if I'm going to be honest with everybody, when I first started at Keller Williams, I was like, these power session things, ugh, come on. I'm motivated. I got this. It's fine. Yeah, I don't need it. And then I started doing the business a little bit more. You get beat down a lot in this business. I'm not going to lie. You're cold calling, you're door knocking, somebody says something nasty to you, somebody, whatever, throws you off. It does help to do something positive in the morning. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be a power session like with Josh every single day, but it could be something like, hey, I'm very creative in the morning. I like to think about what my marketing is going to kind of look like, but I also like to listen to, you know, interesting, you know, facts about, you know, philosophy and stuff like that. I find it very motivating for myself, because whenever I read something, even if it's a quote that I've read before or you know, I've already, you know, thought I understood it, depending on my headspace, when I see it again, when I read it again, it hits different, you know, like it kind of, I understand different things like differently than when I first saw it. So, I mean, I love to do that, frankly. For me, I also love to work out in the morning. First thing in the morning, I like to be up at 6 a.m. I like to hit the gym. When the gyms were closed, I took about 4 months without working out at all. And then I started going on hikes again, you know, because I would be at the trailhead probably around 6 a.m. I'd wake up at like 5:30 just so I could go hiking in the morning. And these things really help, you know, motivate me throughout the day. You know, I love the feeling of I accomplished more in my first, you know, 3 hours of being awake than most people are going to accomplish in a day. That feels awesome. And then I still have an entire day ahead of me. Hell yeah, I'm down. Let's do this. So I love doing those kind of things. And, you know, now that, you know, when I get older, you know, I'm dating somebody, it's getting serious. Like I start thinking about things differently. What am I doing this for? Am I doing this so I can go out on Cannon and have a good time at Wally's every single weekend? No, I'm not. You know, that's really not my priority these days. You know, so what is it that I'm doing, you know, outside of real estate that's fulfilling me from within? You know, we talk about numbers a lot in this class. We talk about cold calling a lot. We talk about, you know, having to hit certain, you know, milestones and peaks and like trying to get as many leads as possible. That's all fine and dandy, but you're going to burn out eventually. So you got to find something that you're really genuinely passionate about, and also, you know, implement that into your daily schedule. I gotta do my cold calls. I gotta do, you know, door knocking. I gotta write some notes. I gotta update my database. I gotta do all these things, but I also have to do these things that fill me from within, that give me the motivation to continue what I do, you know, daily. So, good stuff. I think I loved how she was talking about family. You know, is really important. You know, this agent who was doing this, she sells like, she probably does a few million a year just in like her personal pocket. Forget how many sales she does. So I mean, it's you know, she's no softie. Let's put it like that. So you know, she's definitely a very high producing agent. And in fact, I would say she'd kick the crap out of most agents here in Beverly Hills, because in a lot of other market centers, you have to sell like 20 houses just to, you know, get to $20 million. Here, you can sell one house for 20 million. And people are pretty lazy in this town. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, I hate to say it, but they are. So, you know, it's, keep that in mind. You know, you could make, you know, 100 million in this business just in Beverly Hills if you went after it. But a lot of people, you know, if you get, you know, high enough sales, you get a little lazy. My bills are paid. I got all of it. It's good. I'm guilty of it. I went on vacation to Puerto Vallarta. I'm still there, like mentally, like I'm still like, well, I'll get around to it, and yeah, it happens, you know. So keep that in mind. You know, make sure you're filling yourself up within. Scheduling your days, super important. Very good stuff. Where was I? Here we are. There we go. Hold on. Any questions so far, everyone? All right, hold on.
I do have a question, Jared, a little off topic, but is there any, can you recommend where I would find these zip forms? I was kind of having a hard time struggling the other day for like to just to check out the contracts.
So that's the Zip Forms is California Association of Realtors. So you go to CAR, and that's how you log into it. Have you ever done that before?
Not through car. I was trying to get the zip forms sent through the command.
Okay, so that's a little tricky. I don't use that frankly at all. I just use the California Association of Realtors website to go through all my zip forms, and I use ZipLogic. Have you done your onboarding with like? First of all, do you have your license right now, right?
Yes, I do. Mhm.
Did you do the onboarding with Beverly Hills Greater Los Angeles Association of Realtors?
You know what? Like I signed up for the orientation and like I logged in and everything on the day of, but nothing ever came up on my screen. So I need to redo that or sign up again.
Yeah, do that. That's number one. Do your onboarding for the MLS as well, and so make sure you're doing that because that's where you're going to get all those answers.
Okay, I think I did the orientation for the MLS, just
Okay.
not the car.
Yeah, so go ahead and call California Association of Realtors and ask them how to log into your Zip Forms, and they'll walk you through it.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, for sure. Cool. Okay, pearls of wisdom. In your mission, you were tasked with seeking out 5 different people and asking them 2 questions. Wait, what? Did I miss something? I don't remember that, but all right. Pretend we did. Write your top 3 answers you gave. Well, that's weird. Okay. Anyway, what's your advice on getting into effective production as quickly as possible? I think they're assuming that you walked around the office or something like that. So what do you think is a good way to get into production as soon as possible in real estate? That's a general question for everybody in here. Anybody? What do you think?
Set schedule?
Boom. I love that. Having a set schedule. If you don't plan it, it's probably not going to happen. I can tell you that for sure. When this pandemic happened, it was really, really easy for me to pick up my Xbox controller and just start, shooting like little 12-year-old kids and cussing them out and telling them the mom suck. Believe me, I get it. I'm 34 years old. I love playing video games. What can I say? It was super easy. If it wasn't that, it was watching television. If it wasn't that, it was eating way more than I should have. If you don't have a schedule, it's probably not going to happen. I'd like to turn my schedule into my boss. Before I got in real estate, I was a senior project manager for a very high-end construction company. We worked with like Tadao Ando, Frank Gehry Partners, Tyler Development. We did Opus, the big house in like Tahini States, I think it was. I actually worked on that house when it was in the bidding phases of construction. My company did get awarded the bid. I left the company to pursue real estate after that. That was a trip walking through that house. It was like, what, 20, 30 million or something like that? Maybe it was more, I forget. But the point is what was my point? Forgot my point. Oh yeah, so my schedule when I was working at that company, I did so many bids, so many, work in construction. When I left that office and I looked at I had like 4 of those like, big filing cabinets are like, pretty much as tall as you. I had like 4 of those filled, each one of just all the different bids I did, all the different estimates, all the different projects I ran. It was probably hundreds, maybe thousands, frankly. Yeah, it probably was thousands. And my point is I was able to do that because I had a boss standing right behind me being like, hey, where's this estimate? Where's this bid? Where's this that? Where's this whatever? And I'm like, I had to be on top of it. When you're working for CEO, I don't know. Are you going to be able to be hard on yourself and be like, hey, I can't go do that. Hey, I can't go, and I'm speaking for myself. Hey, I can't go grab, drinks at lunch with, my buddies. I can't, they just closed a $10 million house. They can do that. I need to go find my business. So make sure you schedule it and stick to your schedule, treat it as like it's your boss. What do you think you could do to get into production as quickly as possible?
maybe talking to everybody I know, but I know.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Make sure you're proactively reaching out to people and not in so much of a salesperson-y way, just checking in with them. Hey, how's your day going? What's new? How's the family? How's work? And then eventually through those questions, they're going to ask you the same. How are you? How's work? What are you up to now? And you can say, oh, well, I'm in real estate, and I love it. It's amazing. I'm working with some of the most, awesome agents, blah, 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 blah. And hey, by the by, do you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell? I know I'd love to help, and I know that, my team would love to assist you as well. Who's your team? I don't know. Anybody who's in the office that works with you, so, when you're first a new agent here, at least, you're partnered with like a mentor and stuff like that. So that's great. Are you a new agent or? Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Very cool. And you are as well. So yeah, you'll be partnered with a mentor, so they'll be able to, help and assist, and you can, if there's any like scary questions that they ask you, your mentor's there to help, and that's what it's for. So you have the experience of every single agent in this office practically. So don't ever let that, scare you by the by. Fake it till you make it, I like to say. Whenever I used to go into like these big fancy open houses and stuff, I'm like, only been in an agent for like a year now, but like, they don't have to know that. I'd walk in there with my head up high, like, yeah, so tell me what's the deal with this place? Yeah, cool, bro. Yeah, I've seen a bunch. Yeah. Anyway, but like, you just walk in with a little bit of swag, and nobody knows the difference. Nobody knows, so don't worry. Most people will not know that. And guess what? You got your real estate license. You know more about real estate than they do. I promise you. You probably know more about real estate just after passing your test than most experienced agents know about real estate. Yeah, crazy, right? But you'd be surprised. Laws change, rules change. They don't always keep up with, what's changing. Yes, we mandatory have to do continued education. I know a lot of people who pay another agent to finish their online classes. So, just keep that in mind. You probably know a lot more than you think. If I ask, an experienced agent, what's avulsion? What are economic principles that affect value of real estate? Economic obsolescence, functional obsolescence. They might not know any of that shit. So, keep in mind, you are very knowledgeable coming right out the gates. So good stuff. What do you think you could do to launch yourself into production as quickly as possible?
Get a routine set up, maybe like
Yeah.
a morning routine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're somebody like me which today I missed it because I had to deal with my car thing today, which is annoying. I won't get into it. But for me, if I don't go by a certain routine in the morning, my whole day is off. Like I'm just feeling out of sorts. I'm not like right now. I'm late to this class. I was late. I had to deal with a insurance person on the phone this morning. I had to chase my dog around the house to try to get him to go to the bathroom. It's nuts. It's chaos. It's pure chaos. But anyway, so my point is by having a system that or a routine that you set up for yourself, it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it anymore. Your day is just going on autopilot at that point. I know when I wake up, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to have my protein shake after that. I'm going to have my egg whites and spinach and mushrooms, and I make like a little like avocado thing on the side. I know that that's what I'm doing every single morning. And then I know when I get to the office, I'm either teaching this class or I'm going on my cold calls, or I'm doing client management where I'm going, all right, who's my new listings? Who's my new buyers? Have I checked on my buyers? Have I checked on my listings? And it's just systematized at that point. So absolutely, 100%. All right, so what is the secret to longevity and prosperity in the real estate business? I could say if these three lines could be the exact same thing, but we'll try to look for three different answers. But what do you think is my number one suggestion to longevity in real estate? Sure, consistency in what? It all begins with one thing in that funnel. Leads, absolutely. It all starts with leads. Be a lead generation machine. Forget that you're in real estate. You are a lead generating agent. That's what you are. Try to remind yourself that you are looking for leads. That is what is number one. You're in 3 escrows. Can you stop looking for leads? No, got to keep going. And why do I say that? Because we want to have a predictive business. We don't want to get into a situation where it's like, oh, I have 100K in my bank account. I just closed 3 deals. Great. Where's my next deal? Oh, I have to pay bills now. Okay, well, let me pay off those things. Oh, shoot. I forgot to pay that. Oh, well, great. Oh, and now I'm going on this vacation. That's going to cost around $10,000. Oh. So do I still have 100,000 left? No, I don't. Okay, well, next month comes along. Bills come up again. Oh, crap. Where's my business? So my point is constantly be lead generating, even when you are in 3 escrows. And how do you do that? Fine, maybe you can take the gas off the pedal a little bit. You know, you got to focus and you got to make sure you're giving your escrows the due diligence and the time that they deserve. But, you know, so maybe it's not every single day you're lead generating, but I guarantee you, even in crazy, crazy escrows, you can go, hey, I need to dedicate 3 hours a week, which you can find, I promise you, to just dedicate to lead generation. If that's all you do, great. You know, really, Gary Keller, the guy who started this whole thing, he would say you need to do 3 hours a day, period. For some people, that's doable. For others, it's not. Whatever works for you, okay by me. So yeah, lead generation probably is the longevity to prosperity in the real estate business. The other thing that I would say, or anything else anybody want to add in? Bianca? No.
Maybe something that keeps you de-stressed somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that de-stresses you, you know. I love to go hiking. I love to be in nature. You know, 2 or 3 times a year, I'll go backpacking. Just so I could just get out, you know, in nature. And you know, it's an ass kicker, sure. You know, it's hot, sweaty, bugs everywhere, bears, ugh. But I love it. It makes me feel like I'm in touch with, like, you know, this primal version of myself. You know, absolutely. You know, Bianca, you were going to say something?
Oh, you kind of same. Love to go hiking. It kind of took the words out of my mouth.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So definitely, you know, stuff like that. There was something I was going to mention. I forgot what it was. Oh, well. Anyway, so yeah, all very good stuff. So definitely very important. Okay. Moving on down. So another couple quick questions for everybody in the class. Making it happen. Anyone can succeed, but not everyone will. Why? The ones who do succeed have focus, the ability to concentrate their thoughts and actions on the most important tasks. How do you create a personal plan and make the process your focus? So how do you create a personal plan and make process your focus? Anybody? No right or wrong answer.
Maybe writing down your plan. And
so maybe there is a right answer, because that sounds pretty spot on. So yeah, writing it down, put it in writing. You know, if it's just kind of in your head, you know, and this is coming from experience. I'm not, you know, saying that this is everyone or anyone in this room or on this call, but this is at least for me. If I don't put it into writing, if I don't actually start going through the motions of writing it down or putting it on my whiteboard, I have a big whiteboard in my bedroom. Right when I wake up, I see this big whiteboard. Girlfriend hates it. I don't care. I have to do that week. You know, it's in big letters. It's right there, and you know, that's what I have to do. You know, for me, it reminds me every single day. And I have a calendar on that whiteboard as well that I update every single day just to make sure I'm doing everything right. Now, you know, obviously I'm a little bit anal, so, you know, that might be a little bit to it, but so it doesn't have to be as, you know, as specific as that for everyone. You know, some people can just keep things in their brain and just go, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, and they do it. I'm not one of those people. I got ADHD like a mofo, like it sucks. You know, getting me to do something and stay on task, whew, that's hard. So I have to literally put reminders for myself to make it happen. So if you're like me, maybe do that. If you're able to do those things without any of that, good on you, I'm jealous. Awesome, I love it. Very cool. How do you time block to get your focus? Calendar it, put it on a calendar. Best, you got the best personal assistant right here. It is awesome. If you just use your iCalendar or Google Calendar, I like Google Calendar because I don't have an Apple computer, so it goes on to both, you know, things pretty seamlessly. Sends me reminders, tells me what I have to do, like people's birthdays and stuff. I have it all in my Google Calendar, and I love it. I also have it on my CRM, but you know, frankly, I use the Google Calendar a little bit more often. How do you use accountability to keep your focus? Absolutely. Find an accountability partner. You know, that's one of my biggest recommendations. For me, you know, when I'm thinking about going to the gym and stuff, I love that my girlfriend kind of keeps me accountable. You know, she loves working out. Like if she doesn't have her workout in, she's cranky. Like, and that's cool.
Same.
Right, there we go. If I don't have to work out in, I'm just fine. I'm happy. I'm cool. I'll have a cocktail, I'll smoke a joint, I'll play some video games. Like I'm all right without working out. But I know that I like to do it because I know I do feel better when I do my workouts. I just do. I'm happier, I have more focus. It's great. So I like that my girlfriend keeps me accountable. And I've asked her to, frankly. She didn't used to. And I was like, can you kind of be on my case about that? You know, I'm cool with that. Okay, this light is going to give me a headache at the end of this class. How do you make sure your environment supports your focus? You know what? I think I'm going to move this sideways kind of, so I'm not like just getting blinded. Blinded by the light. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, how do you make sure that your environment supports your focus? Anybody? Be very conscious of the company that you surround yourself with. You know, I think there's a saying like you are the sum of like, you know, the 5 people you spend the most time with or something like that. That's kind of true. You know, I hate to admit it, but when I first started in real estate, the guys I was hanging out with then versus the guys I hang out with now, 2 very different groups. Now, am I still friendly with those people that I was hanging out with a lot before? Yeah, sure, we're friends. We'll go out like once a month and, you know, turn it up, have a great old time. Fine, that's great. But I realize they're on a different path, you know? Some of them are like trust fund babies. Some of them don't have to worry about, you know, anything. Like daddy's gonna take care of the check, like it's all good. And that's fine. I've no issue with that. But I can't live my life like that. I just can't. Like, and it's fun to hang out with those dudes and stuff. And frankly, I could probably afford more than they can, but how did I get there? I had to separate myself from those people. And I had to surround myself with, you know, businessmen and women who are really, you know, dedicated. They're the real men, the real women, like, you know, they're getting it done. You know, and I wanted to surround myself with people who motivate me, you know, frankly. I think it's super important. How do you keep energy to maintain your focus? Coffee helps. Yes, coffee totally helps.
Eating good.
Eating good. Yeah, not champagne, cocaine, and caviar. Do something better. All right, something better than that. No, what I actually think is really helps to maintain your energy and focus is find something that really you are passionate about. I am so in future classes, the people who take the, you know, the other classes, we do this thing called finding your big why. Why are you in this industry? Why do you want to be in this business? And, you know, a lot of times, you know, people will start out with, well, I want a nice car. I want a nice house. I want to get a boat one day. It's like, okay, that's cool. But what else do you want? You know, you're going to get that boat, you're going to get that car. And I got the car. I love my car. I'm telling you, a couple months into it, it doesn't give me the same feeling anymore. It's just, I want a new car now. Like I was just looking at Teslas the other day. And I was like, do I need to do this? Like, can I afford this? Yes. Do I need it? No, I don't. I really don't. My car's paid off. I paid it off all cash. Like I'm done. Like I don't have any payments. Like, do I need another car? Probably not. No. So what is your real big why? And for me, I realized, and by the by, you don't have to have it right away. It could take a year to figure out what your big why is. It could take months. It could take a day. Who knows? For me, it took a couple of years to really think about it. And I remember when I was a little kid, when I was younger, I used to like to party a lot. I used to have a lot of fun. I was really into like, graffiti. Go figure. I grew up in Beverly Hills. Grass is greener on the other side, I guess you could say. And I loved it all, and I still love it all. Frankly, I go to art shows that are very much so like focused on like a lot of graffiti art and stuff like that. I do love it. But I also noticed that when eventually being a teenager, things caught up with me. My parents sent me away to a wilderness program. Interesting, right? Little plot twist there. And I was gone out in the woods hiking the John Muir Trail for pretty much the entire summer. We went all the way up along from the John Muir Trail all the way up the Pacific Crest Trail to, I think it was up to like Redding. I mean, we probably did like 500, 600, 700 miles over the summer. And I spent the entire summer, no tent, no nothing, just a backpack and a sleeping bag, and the people who were with me. We learned about swiftwater rescue, cave extraction, spelunking. This was like a wilderness rescue, like survival school kind of thing. We also got credits for classes and stuff in schoolwork or whatever. And I hated it. Oh my God, I effing hated it. It sucked. Every single day. Huh?
I was just about to say how cool, and then you're like, oh, it freaking sucked.
No. I hated every single day. I was mad. I was pissed off. I don't want to be there. And then all of a sudden I got back home. And all I can think about was going back there.
Excuse me.
Hi, bud.
Hello.
Come on, sit on down. And all I could think about was getting back out there. In fact, I call it type 2 pleasure. While you're doing it, you hate it. When you're done with it, you miss it, and you look back on it fondly, and you love it. And so I realized I had a great opportunity that when I was a young kid, I was doing a lot of dumb stuff, but I was able to find something that really gave me a lot of passion, something that really filled me from within. And when I found that thing, I realized my big why for real estate, I'd love to be able to create some form of like, nonprofit or something that I could take, inner city kids who didn't have the opportunity to get out into the woods, get out into nature, go out and experience what the world is outside of, I would call the concrete, I love Tupac, the concrete jungle, like, the roads through the crack, anyway. But my point is to be able to, show other people what else is out there. And by doing that, not only am I fulfilling something that I love to do, but I'm able to share it with somebody who might not have that opportunity to see that. And so that's my big why. And also I was adopted. So like, I realized I was really, really lucky that I got an amazing family who, is in Beverly Hills. I don't remember getting adopted. Everything was taken care of before I was even born practically. But the point is that's what I found out was my big why. I want to be able to fund a life that I'm able to be so successful that I can give back, and give back in a big way that motivates me. So that's my big why. Yours doesn't have to be that big, or it could be bigger, frankly. But it should be something that motivates you and builds you from within. So, and that's going to be sustainable. You're chasing that dream, you'll keep going. Getting a car, you'll probably want another one in 6 months. So very good. So those are some of the things that I would recommend. Some of the things that they say: maintain energy and focus. To gain this type of energy, spiritual, do these activities, meditate and pray. Physical, exercise and eat right. The emotional, hug, kiss, and laugh. Well, don't kiss everybody. That's maybe not recommended. Mental, plan and calendar. Business, lead generate. Absolutely. So accountability. In the 6 personal perspectives, we learn accountability is a tool for continually changing the results in your life in the areas that matter to you most. Your 20%. Goal achievement is a direct result of accountability. To support your goal setting, we recommend you use the 411 productivity tool. So what does the 411 stand for? 411 stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. At Keller Williams, we use the 411 as a productivity tool to reflect top priorities. The big rocks, the 411 tool allows you to define your weekly, monthly, and annual goals. Because your daily activities manifest into your overall results, the goals you set are effective, the crucial accountability function of your business. So, for example, we don't want to just go, I want to sell $100 million worth of houses. Okay, well, great. That's your big, annual goal. Well, what do you have to do monthly? What do you have to do weekly? What do you have to do every single day, to get there? And that allows you to kind of give you a roadmap to get those goals, so to speak. So your annual goals, you should set aside 1 to 3 days each year to think about and crystallize these 1-year goals. Get clear on your big rocks. For some reason, that sounds weird to me. Those 5 to 7 key goals that you must achieve in order to feel that you have had a successful year. Annual goals should reflect each of the key areas of your life. There can be many categories, but we have found that the following 4 areas are the most useful. 1, job. What will you do? What do you do in your job? What do you have to do to achieve that? Business. What will your business or team do? Personal. What do you desire to have happen personally? Health, family, spiritual, educational, etc. Personal finance. What improvements do you desire in your net worth? Reduced liabilities, increased investments, increased assets, etc. So again, it is okay to want that nice car. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. We can always want nice things. That's okay. And that could be part of your goals as well. Monthly goals. You should set aside 1 to 3 hours each month to rethink and further refine your monthly goals. Focus on your methods of achievement. How will you position yourself in pursuit of your annual goals? Begin by breaking your annual goals down into their monthly increments. In addition, write down the key activity goals that will lead to those monthly results. When deciding your monthly goals, remember to put first things first. Any annual goals, any goals that other goals hinge on would have higher priority. You should have no more than 5 to 7 monthly goals. Do not plan any more than 1 month ahead. Got it? Okay. So weekly goals. You should set aside a half to 1 hour each week to form goals for the coming week. Weekly goals are levers, actions, or activities. Levers are those goals that are the mechanisms or how-tos of achievement. For example, I will contact 10 people each day. That's a great, weekly goal for us to always consider. Those weekly goals are steps that you will take toward your monthly and annual goals. Levers are the means to an end. Again, your weekly goals are not a to-do list, but rather a have-to-do list. Decide what you need to do that week to achieve your monthly goals. Again, remembering to put first things first, limit your number of weekly goals to 6 to 8 key measurable activities. So what are examples of our weekly goals? So for example, and why do they always say reevaluate each week, each month, each year, etc.? Those things might change. You may learn that you're a really shitty cold caller, and that's okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't particularly like cold calling that much. I do it, because it's a good activity to keep doing, but I do it in conjunction with my door knocking. So for example, if I'm door knocking an area, I'll follow up with that area next week with cold calls. Hey, I was door knocking in the area. I left you a flyer. I don't know if you were home or if we spoke or not. I kind of forget, but I just wanted to make sure you received it. Oh yeah, I saw you. You're Jared. Yeah, yep, I'm Jared. Hey, I just wanted to see if you had any questions. And I just do that with that. But now, with that said, if I find out that I'm not the best at cold calling, am I going to do that every single day? Or am I going to realize, oh, wait a second, I get so much more traction when I'm face-to-face, in person, knocking on doors. Yeah, maybe I'm going to reevaluate my weekly goal. Hey, less cold calling, more door knocking. Or is my sphere of influence, my social sphere, that much stronger than my peers, my counterparts? Maybe I don't need to be door knocking so much. Maybe I don't need to be cold calling so much. Maybe I can rely heavily on my sphere, my network of people that I already know. Why? Because people who want to do business with you are usually people who know, like, and trust you. That's just a fact of life. Typically, most people will work with the agent that they feel that they can trust first. So frankly, if you can get in front of somebody first, and as long as you build that rapport enough to a point where they go, I like this girl, I like this guy, I can trust them, you'll probably get that as a client. Keep that in mind. So,
Question about it.
yes.
If it's okay. How do you know, kind of in the beginning, before you've seen results, which one you should spend a little more time on?
So could you, if you went through your phone right now, do you know 100 people who live in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Okay, I would start with calling those people first,
This, yeah.
right? Yeah, start with your sphere first. Now, if you get through that list and you're still kind of coming up dry, where people are going, yeah, I want to, but maybe 6 months to a year from now, you might realize that you might need to start expanding that.
Okay.
And when you get to that point, then I would say maybe cold calling or maybe door knocking. And door knocking, I wouldn't just drive around the streets of Los Angeles willy-nilly and just go, this seems like a good street, and start knocking. Pick a geographic farm. And what's a geographic farm? A specific area. For example, for me, it's Bel Air. I like doing West Bel Air. Why? Frankly, the 20 to 50 to $100 million houses, they got people that they're working with already. And that might be self-limiting beliefs. It might be. But I just feel like,
Maybe it's a good strategy.
yeah, for me,
Try it, I guess, huh?
yeah, well, you know what I have. And I was actually about to mention, one of my best clients was the founder of Nokia. I got him on a door knock.
Oh,
He-
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So billionaire dude, really cool guy, knocked on his door. He was in like coveralls and he was refinishing stuff in his house. But he was doing the own work. But he was talking about the house with so much pride and so much like, it's like, yeah, and this is like blah, 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 and then we're gonna do this over here, and then we're gonna do that, and I think it's gonna look really great. And I'm like, this guy owns this place. He's not just like a worker, but he was like dressed like kind of like he was like, working,
Just
yeah.
like a billionaire.
Yeah. I hate to say it, most billionaires are pretty, hands-on kind of people. They don't really wait for things to happen, So I was just like, so how long have you lived here? And I just kind of like broke through with that one question. And he was like, oh, I think I just kind of sold myself out. Yeah, I've lived here for a while. I was like, oh, that's great, blah, blah, blah. And, it turned out he was looking for, he wasn't looking to sell his house, but he was looking for some, what were they? Does anybody know what a ghost kitchen is?
No.
Sounds funny.
Yeah, right. So for example, Sugarfish tried it out for a while. They used to have a kitchen that was on Pico that didn't have like a storefront that said Sugarfish, but all their like to-go orders, they would make it at that kitchen. So it didn't overwhelm their other locations. And so they would do their to-go orders through that kitchen and stuff. So that's like a ghost kitchen. Or it's, for example, it's also a, what he was doing, he was actually making like some health bars, health food with baked goods, but like really tasty ones. And anyway, he's partnering with his nephew, and they were looking for a place to start up their business. It was like a professional chef's, kitchen and stuff, but didn't want it to be like a storefront or anything. They just wanted like a warehouse type, facility where they could just kind of go willy-nilly and stuff. So that's what we were working on. Great guy, awesome dude. Got him just by door knocking over in Bel Air. So
He's Swedish.
no, actually. So there's a couple founders for that. Yes, there is those people. He actually was on the design side of it. So cool dude. Yeah, but he's American. Well, he might be Swedish actually.
No, no.
His last name might sound a little Swedish. So yeah, he might be. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, interesting stuff. So that's our weekly goals and all that fun stuff. So really, we're kind of getting towards the end of this session. I know it looks like it's only 18 out of 39 pages, but this is really a lot of just worksheets that you can all do on your own. So with the time that we have left, do we have any questions or any comments or any things? I mean, if you're new in real estate, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, any concerns. I know that I had a lot of insecurities when I was first starting in real estate. I remember when I first tried door knocking. I went up to this door and I walked back and forth in front of it, probably like 10 times. I just had my business card in my hand. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go knock on the door. Okay, fuck, I'm not gonna knock on the door. Okay, all right, just do it. Just do it. And then eventually I ran up to the door, I threw my card at the door and I ran back and I went home and I was like, I did it. I fucking did it. Yes, good job, Jared. And I realized I was like, I didn't do anything. But I had what I like to call imposter syndrome. I felt like, do I deserve to be doing it? Like, I don't know. Like, am I ready for this? And the brokerage that I was at before, I was at Rodeo Realty, which I have nothing against them. they're not really supportive for new agents, you know? I mean, they have like a couple classes and stuff, whatever. I asked the manager, like, do you think I should door knock? He's like, I don't know, maybe. I'm like, thanks, man. Gave me that confidence, you know, to get after it.
Wow.
So, you know, if y'all have any questions, any, you know, things that are on top of mind you want to ask.
For me, so I've been here for about 3 months now,
Uh-huh.
and that's exactly what I was going through. I was like, okay, I'm supposed to try to do the prospecting, get the leads, but I didn't know what I should start with. And naturally, you want to go away from the ones you don't like. I didn't want to cold call,
Yep.
and I didn't want to hit my sphere for some reason. Even though I have a pretty strong sphere, I was making up stories in my mind that if I called them and I didn't have, you know, I don't have enough expertise in real estate, they might ask me something that is very basic and I don't know, and they're gonna say, oh, this guy doesn't know, and I might burn that bridge with that particular person for good. So I had that story in my head very intact, because I came from a sports training background,
Mhm.
and a lot of my sphere are parents and pretty wealthy people around these areas that I was training their kids for sports, or some people, agents and people like that. So they're very intelligent, very informed already about real estate and things
Yeah.
like that. So I was like, okay, if I say the wrong thing, it's gonna burn that bridge. So I got away from that, and then actually I was very good at the door knocking, so I went towards that. Did pretty good with that, but then I realized again, you know what? You can't ignore that sphere. And I realized the sphere is where my whole future is gonna be on.
Mhm.
So I had to go back and retrain myself to go back and study in the sphere. And then next thing you know, I was like, okay, I gotta master one of these CRMs.
Mhm.
So then that's what I ended up on. So now I haven't really mastered the CRM. So what would you say, comment on that?
So what I would say, I would comment on that with a story.
Okay.
I was a little nervous to go after my sphere. Why? You know, I was talking to my mom, nice Jewish mother, you know, always had, loved to give me her 2 cents. I was like, you know, I should call like all, she's like, oh, don't bother them with that. No, Jared, they don't want to, they already have people, okay, you know, don't bother them. And I'm like, wow, what am I supposed to do then? Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, yeah, forget you. All right, whatever. And I, you know, started working with another agent, and I didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
I was discouraged by somebody who's supposed to be the closest person to me, you know. And I hate to say this, so you will find this to be kind of true in your life. Sometimes the people who are supposed to be the closest to you might not tell you the right advice.
Yeah.
They might have the right intentions, but they might not have the best advice for you. They're not doing your journey, you are. So anyway, long story short, a couple years passed. I joined Keller Williams here. I did a thing called Bold, which I recommend everybody should do. And they had this one thing, and they were like, write down somebody who either wronged you or you wronged in the past. Somebody who, you know, you think, you just ended on horrible terms. And I thought of my old boss. My old boss was a little bit bipolar, a little crazy. And one day he threw a freaking stapler towards my head while we were in the office, went right through the drywall. Turned around, I was like, okay, that's weird. Stayed there for another year or two, surprisingly. And eventually one day, they would do like these weird kind of psychological things to you, like, well, we're interviewing new estimators today. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean for you guys to hear that. And like some estimator goes in for an interview, and it's like, I was like, they did that one day, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to put up with this shit. This is ridiculous. So I got up, I walked out of the office in the middle of, you know, the day. I just walked to my car and I kept driving. And I went online and I looked up CA Realty training, and I started getting my license in real estate. Listen, I was making very, very good money. You know, I hit a partnership level at the construction firm I was at, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year right in my pocket. I was doing fine. I could have just coasted the rest of my life doing that. But then I realized I was capped at that amount. I wasn't the owner of the company, wasn't my business. The way it was structured, I was never going to make more than them unless I wanted to start my own business. And when I started realizing, you know, I needed to go into real estate, I did. So anyway, so I get into real estate. I hadn't talked to this guy for 3 years. I left him high and dry. I still have probably voicemails of them trying to call after me, be like, where the hell did you go? And so he was the guy I wrote down on the thing, the person that didn't end on good terms, somebody I would never call, somebody I would never talk to. And the exercise is, now go call him. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I called him and I said, and I looked him up on Facebook or whatever. I noticed that, he just got married, he had his first kid. And I was like, that's what I'll talk about. And so I gave him a call and I said, hey, Brian, it's been a while. Just wanted to give you a call, see how you've been. I left him a voicemail actually. Just want to call and see how you've been. Listen, I feel horrible like how things left off. But I will say this, everything that you taught me in construction about, customer service, making sure you're going after the leads that come into the, call in for, jobs or whatever, it really transferred into my real estate career. And, if it wasn't the lessons that I learned from you, I don't think I'd be half the agent that I am today. And I just want to also say congratulations on the baby, and I hope you've been well. Sure enough, I get a call back, and he goes, hey man, I'm so happy that you called. I was thinking about calling you all these years, and I just never did. I never did, and I feel bad about it. Hey, listen, you mentioned that I just got married. I did. I have my condo that I still have, and I now bought a house with my wife, and I need to sell it. So, would you want to list it? And I was like, yes, I would. So I met up with him at his house. We listed the property.
Yeah.
Sold it over asking. I double-ended it. So I represented both sides of the deal. I also picked up the person who bought the house, turned into 3 more deals down the line. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely call your spirit, even if you think that you ended on bad terms.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you'll realize that, we have these, and I'm guilty myself, these kind of self-fulfilling petty fantasies. Yeah, and it's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, this person doesn't like me because of this, or I don't like this person because of that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe that's why that person doesn't like me. Maybe they did something wrong and I'm angry at them, but what did I do to contribute to that? Maybe I can be the bigger person and reach out. And you'd be surprised at how people feel, because oftentimes the people who are the pettiest, the people who are the meanest, are the most insecure. They're the ones who don't have friends. There's the ones who would love for somebody to reach out to them. And you being that one person who does that, make a self-fulfilling prophecy, make it a fantasy in your head, but turn it into something positive.
Yeah.
And if they still are an asshole, you get to do my most favorite thing. You delete their contact out of your phone and you never have to talk to them again. It is worth it to me to sell that person off of one phone call and to be done with them for my life than to never know and just have something taking up, space on my phone's data.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, pick up the phone, give those people a call, but come from a place of being genuine, Like I said in that message that I left to him, I didn't make it about real estate. I made it about him and me and our relationship, and congratulations on the family. And by the by, I wanted to thank you for all those lessons that you taught me professionally, because I'm bringing them into my new career in real estate, and it's been amazing. And without even having to, lead generate, quote unquote, or solicit him he brought it to me. He brought me the business. So, keep in touch with people, because you'd be surprised at how powerful that is. Yeah.
That's great advice.
Good stuff.
One-
And yeah, sure.
One little follow-up. So when you call them, let's say, I don't know if you guys are coming from different industries, how do you formulate you coming from a different industry and putting it in that way where you're an agent now? You did a little bit of it there. How do you do that? How do you message?
So,
that?
I mean, frankly, you might be in an industry that has no relation to real estate, and that's okay. So I don't
So,
even
for
think that
example,
really
I
matters,
can't
actually.
What was that?
I don't really think it matters,
Okay.
because, for example, if you're a fashion designer, for example, just to pick a random industry, does that translate to being able to sell houses? No, not really. But does being personable and working with vendors and people and understanding business and understanding all that kind of stuff, does that translate? Yeah, sure it does.
Yes.
So I wouldn't even bring that up unless
Okay.
somebody else brought it up. But if somebody does bring that up, have your answer ready. So, and that's going to be different for everyone, where's the gentleman? He's not on there. So the one of the gentlemen, he's in retail. Does that necessarily translate to selling houses? Probably not. But does working with customers and customer relations and, you know, maybe he's a manager at a retail place, maybe he's just maybe he's a salesperson. I don't know. But, you know, that you should have that answer ready and think of it, whatever it is for you, it's going to be different for everybody. But think about how that can translate to why you're good in real estate. And by the by, you went through, X amount of, training hours, just to pass your test to get licensed, focus on that. Focus on who you're working with in the office. You're like, yeah, I am new into real estate, but I'm working with some of the top producers in my office. In fact, we do over $1 billion in transactions annually. Yeah, 1 year over $1 billion. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. And I have the combined knowledge of my entire office working with me. And frankly, my mentor would be coming with me, and I'd love you to meet him or her. So if you have any needs, I'm happy to facilitate that for you. Yeah. And you'll get the same exact professionalism that you've experienced from me when I was working with your kids and teaching them about, blah, 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 blah. I'm dedicated to whatever I do, but at 110%, absolutely. Yeah. But I don't even think they'll bring it up. I really don't.
Right.
Really
Because they
don't think
already
they will.
like you and trust you, so.
Yeah, I really don't think that they'll even mention it.
Right.
And if they do, that's weird.
That's a
Yeah.
great answer, thanks.
Anybody else? Anybody else have it? Yes.
Are there any opportunities to assist some of the other agents that are more established?
So yeah, so for example, you can work on a team, which I highly recommend. And then talking to the team leader, being like, hey, listen, I'd really love to, offer me to assist, not just, picking off, a couple buyers or sellers that, you don't want to deal with or whatever. I'd really love to be able to shadow you, assist you in what you're doing, and stuff like that. Now, if you're saying like, are there people who would, supplement you monetarily while you're doing that? Yes. But that's looking for more of like a permanent assistant role.
Which is still learn.
Yeah. So if it's just to learn, yeah, there's plenty of people who would love to have somebody help them out with stuff like that. Absolutely. I would recommend a team though, a high producing team that's also willing to mentor. Now I will say the mentorship program is great because you're literally sitting down with a mentor weekly, if not bi-weekly, and you're sitting down going over what you're doing, how you're lead generating and stuff like that. And I think that's also important too. Excuse me. Also Justin Jacobson, he's the one of the productivity guys here. He's great. I haven't done his classes, but from everybody I've heard who do them, he's phenomenal at like getting started and stuff like that. So I would recommend that. Plus, it's a lot of newer agents who are working with him, and you kind of build like a camaraderie with them, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm working with him.
Yeah.
He's my mentor, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good. I spoke to him over the phone. Yeah, he's very good, yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, absolutely. And also, I always recommend making friends, in the office. There's a lot of, newer agents and stuff like that. I don't know if they really do this that often, but I'm trying to set up a thing where we do caravan, weekly, because we used to do it, back when a little while back, we would do Tuesday caravan where we would meet over here in the office, grab some coffee, set up a route of all the different houses we were going to go check out, and we'd all kind of go in, either people would pile up and carpool on cars together. If there were 10 people, we would take multiple cars and we'd all just kind of follow each other to the outstanding open houses that are in the Hollywood Hills or Bel Air or whatever, and kind of get used to like previewing homes and talking with people and understanding the market and what houses are being sold for and stuff like that. So I think that that's also some good stuff that you could do. I don't know. You'd have to talk to agents independently for who's looking for like, a shadow or a mentor or something like that. Yeah. But I'm sure there definitely will be somebody.
In the process of getting a mentor, are you assigned one?
Yes, I believe Kristen Toll runs the mentorship program. She'll assign you to somebody. Be honest with her. Who you like, who you want to work with. If you're assigned with somebody who you don't feel it's a good match or something, be honest with her. Be like, hey, I'm looking for, maybe something a little bit different. And she should be able to help you out. Yeah. So hope that helps. Cool. Anything else?
Question, so I think, the door knocking, cold calling, you get used to these things, right? How about the scripts? What are we supposed to tell them? Like, is there like anywhere we can find the scripts or something?
Yeah, so if you go into KW Connect, there's a lot of scripts in that. So you can find the scripts through there.
Okay.
I think it's under KWU, something like that. Yeah. And you can find it through there. So KW Connect. Yeah.
And that's on command too, right?
Yeah, I think it's also in Command. I haven't seen the scripts in Command. To be honest, I should probably look into that myself just so I can, be a little bit more helpful. But what I typically do for my scripts, it's one of 3 different things. It's usually I have a listing in the area, and that's why I'm calling. Obviously, if we're brand new, we might not have a listing. But what I could recommend in absence of not having a listing is maybe talking to an experienced agent who does have a couple listings and saying, hey, would you mind if I cold called about your listing looking for buyers? And I guarantee you they'll be like, hell yeah, you can. Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely market my listing all you want. And yeah, you don't maybe say it's my listing, but you're like, hi, I'm Jared with Keller Williams Beverly Hills. Listen, it shows that you live in, I always use Roscommare or Bel Air or whatever, in Bel Air. And, we have a listing in Bel Air, and we just want to invite you to the open house that's going to be happening, blah, 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 blah. Do you know anybody who's looking to move to the neighborhood? And they go, well, I live in the neighborhood. I'm not looking to move. Like, no, I understand. But statistics show that 80% of people who move to a neighborhood, it's because they know somebody who lives in the neighborhood currently. Do you know anybody who's interested in moving to Bel Air? Oh, well, maybe. And so maybe have a conversation there, or it turns into, no, I'm sorry, I don't. Well, okay, that's very good. By the by, there's not a lot of listings available in your area right now. Are you interested in taking advantages of the opportunities presented in today's market? What do you mean? Are you interested in selling? Oh, maybe. Well, do you have a price in mind that you would be interested in accepting? Maybe we could even sell off market. We might have somebody who's interested in buying. Well, I don't know. Well, okay. Well, let me ask you this. Would you feel comfortable with me coming over later on today? And you can just give me a tour of the property. Just let me know, just so I can see what it looks like. And if I have anybody who could, be a good match for you, I'm happy to bring them over. Yeah, sure. I've done this bunch of times. It does work. And I'll go to their house, literally from talking to them randomly on the phone. Later that evening, I'll go take a look at it, and then I'll just basically say, listen, we might have somebody who's open to this. If you can't think of anybody at the top of your head, just be like, I'm going to have to go back and give a couple calls to some of my clients just to see if they're interested in this particular location. I will blame it on, they're really looking for Stradella with a view. Let's say the house doesn't have a view or something like that. But, just out of curiosity, would you be interested in putting it on the market so you can get not only just the people that I know, but also the entire MLS and, over 200,000 agents in Los Angeles who have all different clients and needs and whatever. I have a feeling if we put it on the market, you would sell probably in just 2 weeks. Yeah, be honest, because that is honest in this market. You probably will sell in 2 weeks. And you'd be surprised. Yeah, I've gotten listings just by doing that. So. Any other questions?
Yeah, man, you should write a scripts book.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, I don't like using canned scripts just because they feel so canned. And if they go off topic, it's like really difficult. So I look at scripts for me, I study them, but I use them as like conversation parameters. Yeah. I in fact, when I cold call, I usually just have like a bullet point thing listed out. Ask them for the business, ask them if they know anybody looking to buy or sell, ask them for their email, ask them for their phone number, stay in contact. Yeah. It's that simple. You know, because if you're calling somebody and you're going, hi, I'm Jared with Keller Williams, Beverly Hills.
Click.
Are you interested in potentially selling your, hello, where'd you go? Yeah,
I hang up on that every time.
I hang up on that all the time too. I mean, I hate that shit, you know? But if you call somebody, you go, hi, my name's Jared. You know, listen, I was just working with one of your neighbors down the street on Stradella. You know, listen, we sold the house less than a week. And I'm not calling to, you know, try to get you to buy anything or anything like that. But I was just curious, do you know any of your neighbors, maybe perchance they're looking at selling possibly, maybe they're getting ready to hit the market? I have a lot of buyers who are interested in the area. I just wanted to do my due diligence for my clients and see if you knew of anybody, because obviously you live in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And if they go, no, well, I know this one person was thinking of selling down the street and this other person was to, you'll always find that one neighborhood know-it-all, which is awesome. They're like a gold mine of like information.
Yeah.
And you just talk with them and you just have an honest conversation. Just be like, oh yeah, and you're like, well, you know, how long have you lived in the neighborhood for? Oh, cool. Yeah, I grew up on Beverly Glen personally, you know, just, you know, over the way. Like I love the neighborhood. It's where I grew up, you know. Oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you start talking about stuff, you build a rapport and you get used to like talking to these people and you know, reach out to them every once in a while. So best thing I could recommend. Because I'm telling you, if you're calling a very successful lawyer, successful doctor, an accountant, CPA, you know, analyst, you're not going to trick them into doing something.
No.
If they want to do it, they'll do it. You know, so there's no script that's going to do that. But it's good to study scripts just so you know the things you're going to talk about. I know I'm going to talk about this. I know I'm going to ask for that, and down the script.
You're making such a great point, because that's the one thing about scripts. I'm the type of person, like, number one, my English is not the greatest, but what I found over time is that it's not so much the words you're saying, it's how are you coming across? Are you coming across genuine? Are you delivering with your energy, or are you trying to like be robotic and trick them?
Yep.
Because people don't like when you're trying to trick them.
No.
They want you to be just genuine, just talk to them as if you're speaking to them in a conversation. And when I started doing that, you know, I tried the scripts a little bit, but I would just kind of I would just find out the topics, like you said, the bullet points. And then when I would go to the door, I would just speak to them with whatever came out.
Yeah.
And it would just flow. And then like if I spoke to 10 people, I might end up with like 3 or 4 numbers in emails.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the rest of them, 5 of them have no interest. So you're not going to trick them.
No. What I like to look at door knocking and cold calling, it's the Amazon effect. What is the Amazon effect? You ever been on like Amazon or shopping online or something like that, and you see something that you really want to buy, but you're like, oh shit, I can't spend that money right now. Like I gotta do this. I got a medical bill that just came up randomly. I got in a car accident. I gotta, you know, pay this, whatever. I'm just, you know, making stuff up. So you put it on kind of like, you put it in your shopping cart, or, you know, whatever, but you move away from it. A week or two goes by, and then all of a sudden you see right on your, like the corner of your screen, you're on like, you know, Facebook, or you're on Instagram, or you're like on CNN, frankly, you know, whatever, or Fox, if you watch Fox. I don't know, I don't care. But the point is, whatever, I don't want to get political, fuck, Jesus. Whatever you watch, I don't care, I'm fine, I love you, don't hate me. So whatever it is, you're gonna see a little pop-up thing. It goes, that one thing that you're looking at, all of a sudden is now being like, hey, remember me? And you're like, oh wait, yeah, I was gonna get that. You click on it and you put it in your cart and you finally buy it. That's what door knocking and cold calling is. You're looking for that person who has an immediate need. That's what you're doing. So frankly, if you do want to get a little bit canned and a little bit scripted, there's one script that Richard Schulman, who's in the Santa Monica office at Keller Williams, they use, and it's this simple. Hi, my name's Richard Schulman. I'm with the Schulman team, whatever. I was just calling to see if you or anyone you know is interested in taking advantage of the opportunities presented in today's market. And silence. And the person goes, what do you mean? I'm Richard Schulman. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. I'm just calling to see if you or anyone you know is interested in the opportunities presented in today's market. Like as in selling my house? Yeah, exactly. Are you interested in selling your house? Yeah, I was thinking about it. Well, great. Glad I gave you a call then. You know, I'm with this team. We're the top producing team in the area. I'd love to be of assistance to you. Have you had any agents come by and take a look at your property yet and give you an analysis of how much it's worth? No. Well, great. I think that would be a great first step. Well, Zillow says it's worth this. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, Zillow just takes averages of the entire area and they don't take into consideration, you know, year built, you know, square footage, lot size, and other determining factors that a human touch might be able to identify and assess. Because Zillow could tell you it's worth this, but it's actually worth a little bit more. It could tell you it's worth that, but it's actually worth a little bit less. So I'm happy to come over and give you my 2 cents. How's today at 6 o'clock? Sound good? Great. And so if you want to get scripted, you can use a script like that and get straight to the point. But if you're doing that, you really have to be sitting down and setting like hours out of your day to just cold call, cold call, cold call, cold call, cold call, cold call. And that's all you're doing, you know, and that's what his team does do. And they have the highest volume production. I don't know if it was this year, but in the years previous, they have the highest production volume out of any team in like Los Angeles, practically. So they killed it, like just destroyed it. Now, are they selling a whole bunch of $10 million, $20 million houses? No, but does that matter? As long as they're getting the business done, who cares? You know, you can make a lot of money selling Hondas. If you're the dealership owner, you're a millionaire. Great. Do you think he drives a Honda? No, he probably drives, you know, Bentley. But who cares? Do you think he cares when he goes home? No. So depending on what you want to structure your business as, you know, it's going to be different. You know, if I'm calling Tori Spelling, I'm not going to use that script on her. You know, if I'm calling, you know, I don't know, whatever, somebody who's of high wealth, am I going to use that script on them? No, probably not. But, you know, does it work when I'm calling, you know, like, I'm just thinking of some areas. If I'm calling the Inland Empire, if I'm calling like West Adams, if I'm calling, you know, San Fernando Valley, if I'm calling, you know, areas that, you know, I hate to use the term, but it's pretty accurate, where there's a little gentrification going on, where people are going, you know what, I got bills, I got medical things, and you know what, I can sell my house for 1.5 million right now, and I bought it cash out for like $50,000 in the 60s. Yeah, I could use that, and I don't mind, you know, moving to another area, frankly, because the cost of living in this area is getting too expensive. Would I be interested in entertaining that offer? Absolutely, I would. Yeah, let's talk. Absolutely, it's a great business plan. It's not my personal business plan, but it works very, very well. So, you know, you can use scripts, but the more simple it is, the better. You know, some of these scripts in this, they're so long-winded.
Pretty much don't want to say too much, let them talk, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
how do you find the cold calling phone numbers and stuff? I
So-
I remember there was a do not call list.
Yeah, so
Mojo, right?
yeah, I use Mojo. That's the Mojo dialer. It's called mojosells.com.
Okay, more yourself.
mojosells.com.
I like Mojo.
Yeah. And that has a thing called a neighborhood search,
Okay.
where you can literally just do it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever been on the MLS, but you basically can draw your own like boundaries of a map. You know, I want to do every single house from Santa Monica Boulevard over to Pico, and from the ocean all the way up to Beverly Glen. I want all those numbers. You can do that. You're gonna get a shit ton of numbers doing that, but you can, or you can make it smaller. You could do Westwood Boulevard to Beverly Glen to Santa Monica to Wilshire, and just do a little pocket over there. That's the neighborhood I grew up in. So you could do all of those things. That doesn't seem like a real number.
Mojosells.com, right?
Yeah, and so you can do a neighborhood search, and then there's also the dialer on that. So for example, if you're doing like 1,000 calls like in a day, you might want to look at getting a triple line dialer. And what is a triple line dialer? It's basically allows you to have 3 lines calling with your number simultaneously. So, and whoever first picks up is the person you start talking to first. which can be a little bit hectic for a newer agent. I actually kind of like doing it. I turn it into a game.
Wow.
My buddy and I will take like a bottle of tequila and we'll take shots. Like, you know, if we get yelled at, it's like, take another shot, you know? If you get a lead, you take 2 shots.
That'll loosen you up.
Yeah, but you also need to know when to cut yourself off.
When to stop, right?
Well, screw you too, asshole. So don't do that. But yeah, no, I could call 100 numbers in an hour. So, you know, if I have a 10-hour day and I really want to lock myself into a room and call that long, I don't recommend it. I think you're not going to be as effective after a few hours. Yeah, you can do that, and you can get through quite a lot of numbers that way. And the cool thing is let's say people pick up almost simultaneously, but one was like a millisecond before the other one. The one that you're on the phone with, you're obviously talking to, but the one that picked up a millisecond, you know, after that person, they'll get it's like a little voice recorder thing. And what I do is, oh, I'm so sorry, let me call you right back. And it hangs up automatically. So they hear like when they pick up, hello, oh, sorry, let me call you right back. And it just hangs up. Now, let's say they don't pick up and it goes to the answering machine, it'll drop a voicemail. And it'll just say, hi, my name is Jared Medlinski. I'm with Keller Williams Beverly Hills. I was just calling to see if you're interested in the opportunities presented in today's market. Sorry I didn't reach you, but I'll give you a try a little bit later. Have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's simple. And I don't think I leave my number either, because I don't want them to go, I have his number and I'm on the do not call registry and I'm going to report him. Now, the good thing about Mojo is it does scrub it against a do not call list, and it's deemed accurate. But let's say you have a list that you've been using for a month, and somebody all of a sudden puts their number on the do not call list, you know, 2 weeks into you getting that number, there's
Nobody
potential.
can get you in trouble. I know a lot of people put their phone numbers on do not call list, but everybody gets phone calls, right?
Yeah, I mean, they can actually. If they have your phone number and they report it,
Really?
yeah, you could get fined. Yeah. So, which sucks.
Oh,
How much is
Leave
the-
a message,
Gotta take
though?
that chance.
Yeah, I'll leave a message. I'll just say, hey, it's Jared Medlinski with Keller Williams Beverly Hills. Sorry I missed you. Just wanted to call to see if you are interested in taking advantage of the opportunities presented in today's market. I'll give you a try later. And it will say in Mojo, drop call, drop message, answered. And it'll tell you like what your pickup rate is. And you can go back and go and say, call all the people that drop message, you know, and you can find the numbers that you dropped a message to and go back and manually call them back, you know, later when you're done cold calling. It's like, okay, I left a message to 20 people on their voicemail at the end of a cold calling session. I'll go ahead and go back and recall those people on my actual cell phone and I'll type it in. They'll be like, hey, it's Jared again. Sorry, did I catch you at a good time? And they're like, oh, hi, yeah, you left a message about, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I did. I just wanted to, you know, get a chance to talk with you in person and see if you were still interested or interested rather in possibly selling. It's that simple. Yeah. So, but Mojo's great because it gives you all that data. It tells you how many people picked up, and you can also write notes while you're talking to them. There's also another thing that like the Zillow symbol pops up. So if you're talking to somebody and it says that they're listed at this address, you go, okay, great. Does it look, my records are showing that you live at 123 Main Street. And if they say yes, I'll click on the Zillow thing and all of a sudden Zillow will pop up and it'll show me the house. And so I'm looking at the house from the street like, oh, great. Yeah, the house that, you know, you're the house that looks like blah, 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 blah. Do you still have those, you know, gorgeous planters in the front? How can you see that? Oh, don't worry, I'm not in front of your house or anything. I'm on Zillow right now. And I was just checking out the property to see, you know, what it looks like. Or you don't have to tell them that, which I might recommend actually. Yeah. Or you can say, oh, great, well, let me pull it up on Zillow. You know, you can say it ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, so you can kind of have a conversation about it. Because sometimes people will say, yeah, I'm interested, but only if I can get, you know, X amount. And then you can do a quick quote unquote CMA or your own intuition, look at the property online. You go, yeah, you know, I think you're in the ballpark. You know, I think we should meet though, because I'd like to take a walk through the house. You know, you know, what I'm pulling up on Zillow, it says it sold back in 2012. You know, have you done any upgrades in the interior? Oh yeah, I totally gutted the kitchen. I redid the bathrooms. I did all this. Great. Well, we should definitely meet because the bathrooms that were there before were not the prettiest. And I'm sure what you have right now is a much better improvement than what was there before. I'd love to see what you've done to the place. That gives you an excuse to go in and take a look at the property. So it's a very powerful tool. I highly recommend it for a lot of people who are just starting out. I might not go with the triple line dialer right away. They have an option that's a single line dialer. It's much cheaper as well. It still has like the leave message function and all that kind of stuff. So I would recommend probably doing that instead. And it just makes it easier so you don't have to dial. It just does it for you. It auto dials for you. So it's kind of like having an assistant and rolling calls. Like, for example, when I was in construction, I would have my assistant roll calls for me. So it's like, oh, I need to call 100, people to, just check in with their, hey, are you still interested in getting this project done? We were really busy, let's say 1 month. So we're like, we honestly have like a 2-month lead time before we can get to any new projects. So I would, roll calls and just like go through like, leads and stuff like that. But my assistant would dial for me. Now I don't have that assistant, so I just use the Mojo dialer, and it's only like $100 a month, which is much cheaper than getting an assistant. So, so yeah, so highly recommend that. Yeah.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's actually very effective.
Yeah. So
The numbers are like that, as accurate as they get.
yeah, so sometimes you will get, which is always fun. You'll like cold call a number and it's like a kid's cell phone, but it's under the parent's name. And you're like, hi, are you interested? It's like, I'm 12. It's like, sorry about that. Is your mom and dad around? Love to talk to them. It's like, whoops, sorry, I'll delete you out of my thing. So yeah, Mojo Dollar is great. Yeah. And any other questions, everyone? Yes.
Expired listings, like.
You could also do that in Mojo. Yeah. There's a neighborhood search, for sale by owner search, expired listing search. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. But also, if you're looking for expired listings, you could just go on the MLS and look for everything that's expired, and then take that list and send it to your title rep and get their phone number or address that way. Frankly, I would just rather go with the address and door knock them in person.